Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us again after a little bit of a break. It's been 6 months roughly, which is crazy to think
Wow.
about. We haven't been
Yeah.
around for 6 months. Life has been kind of crazy. A lot of things have happened in the last 6 months. We're coming towards the end of the year, and one huge moment that will be in the history books is Charlie Kirk's assassination,
Yeah.
which was on September 10th of 2025. I don't know the exact time. I know I was just getting off work, so I know it was around 2 o'clock when we heard the news and it broke on your cell phones and computers and laptops and iPads and every other screen in America. And it was a huge moment for me and many
Yeah.
Americans and Christians. And we want to dive into that a little bit and kind of talk about it. Some time has passed, so you can kind of let things
Yeah.
marinate or, whatever
Yeah.
else and really sit there and think about it instead of immediately going off of feeling, right? Because feelings don't last
Right.
forever. You're feeling mad or maybe upset, or certain people were glad, or whatever the situation was. So I think it's good to not react immediately when something like that happens, and really just kind of, like I said, let it marinate. So again, that happened on September 10th, and I kind of wanted to talk about that happening and seeing it pretty much live over a cell phone,
The
and the
actual
the actual
assassination. Okay.
assassination. Um, and it's not really something that we have seen before.
Right.
We've seen JFK with a camera. It was very blurry. We didn't
Yeah.
have 4K
Yeah. With the
images.
technology
Still,
and
still horrible. And you see it, and
oh,
you go,
absolutely.
oh my gosh, like I've never seen anything like that. But one of the things that's interesting is we've never seen really a Christian martyred in
Right.
the year 2025,
At least in
assassinated,
America.
at least in America.
Yeah.
Definitely, obviously in other areas. Well, that's a whole other
Yeah.
episode
That's a whole nother
that's
story.
been going on. But so you've seen it on Instagram and on Facebook and on TikTok. And one of the things I wanted to bring up is, how has that made us feel as human beings, as Christians, and what were you thinking when that happened? And did you see the video itself? Because there were videos that were shown that were blurred out. Some of them were far away, and some of them were really close up. Um, Go ahead and
Yeah.
take away what. How did you feel when that happened? I mean, what were you
Well,
thinking?
first of all, my phone blew up.
Yeah,
My wife, your mother,
yeah,
she's texted me, and a number of friends and acquaintances that I know were blowing up my phone and said, "Did you hear that Charlie Kirk was shot?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so there was a lot of emotions, and like you said, one of the things that we have to be so cautious and careful of is that it's been said that when emotions run high, reasoning runs low.
yeah, yeah.
And man, it's so easy to get emotional. Whether you were sad to say there were people that were for that, I guess there
Yeah.
are. The
Yeah,
reality
yeah, yeah.
is, and
Yep.
people that were not. So there was a lot of emotions involved. So I tried to just keep myself into a space of trying to navigate through that. Like, wow, how can this be? And then, did I see the video? Yes. Um, and it's just shocking, to see another human being, their life being taken, and I believe that life at conception, is, I mean, it's precious,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very sacred. The birth of a child. I mean, it's kind of a sacred time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Babies being born into the earth, and it's
Intimate
sacred,
almost.
it's intimate, it's a
It's
very
yeah.
sacred time. And I believe someone dying is a very intimate, sacred time. And it's not just for the world to see. So, for that to be out there, I mean, man, that was really tough to see. And I just went through a lot of emotions. And it kind of reminds me, and it's kind of off the topic, but isn't. Do you remember back and it might have been the 80s or 90s, when you went to the video stores, and one of the big videos of that time was called Faces of Death?
I don't remember. No.
And you could literally go rent uh, VHS,
Mm-hmm.
whatever
Mm-hmm.
videos of people who died, and they had been videotaped for some reason, and somebody had put them in a conglomeration on a video.
You just see them all.
So, and it was a movie. So
Yeah,
you just
that's
watch people getting eaten
People
by
getting-
alligators accidentally, different things. So it's just bizarre that we really want to see that. So that's weird. So it was weird.
Yeah. Like my reaction was, I saw it on TikTok, and the first time it was, really far away, and I couldn't really see. And you hear the gunshot, and you go, oh
Right.
man, I see Charlie, and he's kind of, and you go, man, they got him or whatever. And then, within 20 seconds, because as you scroll through a page, things will just happen like this.
Yeah.
It was like super close up. You see everything, you see the blood, and it was so spiritually, like I just felt something I'd never felt before. I felt hurt. I felt confused. I felt angry. And it's like, I almost emotions were running high, and there was a lot of things I wanted to say, but I didn't understand. And I felt like, kind of like you said, I saw something I wasn't supposed, mentally, I'm not supposed to see something like that. And actually, I felt very fortunate because you called me, whatever it was, a week or two. You called my sister Andrea, and we just, how you doing, towards that. And I realized, when somebody asks you that, and you go, I'm not good, because I've never seen something like that before with somebody I know, where I'm like, dude, I've watched this guy's podcast, and I've seen him all over college, and somebody that I looked up to because I thought he had really good points and very truthful, and he was very faithful, and I thought that he stood for what he believed in, and just, it was amazing. So to see that was messed with me a lot. And there was a doctor, I didn't get his name, but he quoted this, and I wrote it down. I want to read it. And it says, "You were never meant to witness someone's final breath and then scroll again and then start laughing on TikTok to the next video, whatever it may be." That's not, we weren't supposed to be like that. We weren't built for that.
Like, anyway.
Right. Just moving on, whatever. Your soul wasn't designed to hold that kind of weight and then move on like it's nothing. This isn't just about technology. This is trauma. This is spiritual damage. We're overstimulated, underconnected, and completely shut down inside. We're seeing everything and feeling nothing. And that should break your heart, is what he said. And I think that's a really good, really good quote for, we're seeing everything and feeling nothing. And I think I saw somebody else quote something where they said, it's the For You page is completely full, but you're empty. Your soul's empty. So you have something totally full. I can scroll on TikTok for hours, Instagram for hours, and Facebook for hours, but I feel empty, which is, I guess, another episode or, message you could do. This kind of takes it off of Charlie. But yeah, it's one of those things where you see that, and we had a conversation where, and my sister felt the same way, where you almost felt like you knew Charlie.
Yeah.
And when he was gone, it was like my soul and or spirit just felt like, I know you, and now you're not here. And my spirit is mourning that, where I'm like, I know you. I don't know you, but I know you, and I can't explain it. And the only way that we could explain it is like spiritually. Totally. I know you. So
it's a spiritual connection.
It was just
a kindred spirit, spiritual connection.
Yeah, it would be the best explanation. So the next question, just to hop in, because we don't want to go super long, it's should politics, because Charlie was huge into politics. He let it be known, whether it offended people or not, I don't know. Should politics be in church? And that question is a deep one, because after his assassination, which, do you remember what day that was? Was that like a Wednesday or
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday or something?
I think it was a Wednesday.
So I think everybody was interested. By the time Saturday got around, we said, man, I wonder, do we say something at church? Do we not? Whatever.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Sunday comes and goes, and there's churches that talked about it for the entire service. They held a huge thing. There were people that did not mention it even remotely. And then there were people that just kind of, were like, Charlie Kirk, he was good, but politics shouldn't be in church because Jesus is king, and that, let's just leave it at that, because I don't want to get into it, and that's a messy thing.
Right.
So the question begs the question, should politics be in church? What do you think?
Well, I want to back up to one of the things that you were talking about when you read that about the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting about watching death or something like that, of that nature. It reminds me of so many times I've either watched a show or watched a documentary of a family that went to a person who was put to death. They were on
Mm-hmm.
death row,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and maybe they had killed one of their family members. And they said, we're going to be right in the front row to watch this person be put to death. And then they are front and center.
Yeah.
Lethal injection or whatever source they
Mm-hmm.
use.
Yeah.
And they're put to death. And oftentimes the family or the people leave empty.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't resolve.
It didn't do what they
anything.
thought that it was going to
Correct.
do.
That it would bring resolution.
There's total resolution.
Or peace.
And yeah.
So for people, that did see it, I mean, I wish for you and pray for you peace, that somehow that's erased. And for people that were actually happy that it happened, I also wish for you peace, because that is not going to bring you peace, even if you did or didn't like Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
So
there was someone that I knew, and I said, what do you think? Because I didn't know their beliefs or anything like that.
Right.
And their reply was, what's the phrase? It was like, win, or was it no, play, what is it? Wait, no, I'm losing it. It's play stupid games, win stupid prizes, or something like that was the reply. And I was like, wow, okay. I mean, they weren't like the biggest fan of him, and I don't want to see anyone die.
See anyone,
but to say anything like that, is kind of.
I don't wish that on anybody. Like, so with that said, I just
regardless, I like
say that's so important. That we find peace in
peace
something,
in
and it's not in that and someone dying, unless it's Jesus Christ, obviously, which brings us peace. But should politics be in the pulpit, in the church? My personal opinion is, and it's a slippery slope, is I believe at some level that it should be communicated with different things. I mean, politics, the problem with politics from the early years of politics to where we're at today, it encompasses so much stuff. We call people, I know words matter. And we call people the left, far right, left, and this. And then we become titled in a way. Like now I'm titled a right or a left or whatever you are. And so then we're just against something. And so I think we have to be really careful when it's presented. It's presented with the word of God absolutely attached to it. Meaning, when it affects what the Bible teaches us, whether it's about abortion, whether it's about homosexuality, whether it's about pastors being homosexuals, whether it's about any of those things, abortion, I believe those things should be shared and talked about, the principles of the Bible, because you and I talk about this a lot. And a lot of people aren't going to like this, but at the end of the day, this is it's truth. And, the word of God is true. I believe it is true. And if you don't, that's fine. But I believe it is true to the extent that we either believe what it says or we don't. Meaning that if abortion is wrong, then we should be standing against that and saying, hey, we're not going to do that. That isn't what we do. So it's critically important for us to understand the scriptures and to know what they mean, because there's so many people that go to church, and you and I talk about it, it's what I'm bringing up, is Christianish. They show up, you check a box, and at the end of the day, I'm just saying it, and I've been there and I'm still learning.
Same.
You have no clue with what God is saying. Let me give you an example. I've seen celebrities, athletes, and different people. They'll be on there, and the first thing they say is, I just want to thank the big man upstairs, or I want to thank God, or I want to thank this or that. And then in the very next sentence, they're like, beep, 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 the mother, beep, and they're beeping everything under the sun. And here's what we need to understand. Right out of the gate, God is holy. And if you say you know him, and then you're going to act like that and act a certain way, I'm not sure you know him. I think you know about him, but you don't know his nature. Because if that was the case, you would change. So I believe, again, slippery slope. But and we could go all day on that and get into things. But yes, I think it should be discussed from a biblical principle.
Okay.
So
I agree. I think yes, just 1000%. And I think when the Charlie Kirk thing happened and he got assassinated, and you go into church, you're all riled up. You know what I mean?
You're
like
fired
we were,
up.
you know, well, if something doesn't get mentioned about Charlie Kirk, I'm about ready to just, you know,
if my pastor doesn't mention Charlie Kirk, that I'm leaving that church.
You're right, and you're upset because there's a lot of emotion.
When emotions run high,
your
reason runs low.
Let it
calm down.
Let's just think about it, you know. But I was very passionate and watching Charlie's videos and stuff, and it did something, and I think it has done something to our country where you go, I don't want to be just dormant anymore. I want to be, you know, more passionate. I want to say more things. I want to stand up for what I believe in and raise my hand and do this, you know. And Charlie did that, and you realize, you know, you want to do more.
I mean, he certainly made a difference.
He made a difference.
And honestly, listen, people, whether you liked him or not, it's irrelevant. First of all, Charlie Kirk is not the Messiah. Jesus Christ is. But he was a man of God that I believe wasn't perfect, but believed in what he believed in. He was making a difference. And a lot of people that did not like him was simply because of this. I know this for me in my life. Anytime that I've ever challenged people, they either do one of two things.
Yeah.
They either get ticked off or they take the challenge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
One of two things.
Yeah.
They either take the challenge that I'm, as a boss,
yeah,
as a trainer, as a leader. Anytime I've ever challenged someone, hey, I need you to do this and let's get better. They do one of those three things. They're either going to take the challenge and go, okay, I'm going to do that. Or they're going to get ticked off and then respond in a certain way, just dislike it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, they'll leave. Right. And I think with Charlie, that was a lot of his belief system was so strong in what he believed.
Yeah.
It frustrated people because it also challenged people to get better. Yeah. It did. So I think that was a big deal.
And that gets people frustrated, which kind of brings us in to our next thing, and getting closer to closing. There's been a lot of Charlie's comments about certain things. Where people will say, you know, he's evil and he whatever, and he is racist and you don't understand. And a lot of people that have commented on this have watched snippets. Right. And one of my things that I don't like, I mean, the biggest advice I could give you is when you watch something on Facebook, when you watch something on Instagram, TikTok, get the whole point of view of
all of it.
You know, there's snippets of all sorts of pastors, whatever, and they're 15 seconds. And you see it and you go, oh my, I can't believe that they said that. Or it could be like, you know, my favorite actor or sports person. Or I'm like, Kobe said what, you know?
Yeah. Well, people embellish things real quick. Right. Because as a pastor, I would have people come to me in the church and say, hey, Pastor Larry, everyone is this.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone is saying this. And my comment would be, well, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, everyone. So who is that? Well, and then it was like two people.
It's just everybody. And you're going,
so
hold on.
What you're hearing is one side of the story, which becomes embellished, and you don't hear it all. So, which is why I would ask them. So everyone is saying that.
Yeah.
So like Charlie Kirk, he's racist.
Right.
Well, why are you saying that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Which brings in, there was a huge clip. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to talk about this one in particular, where he said if he were to get on a plane and he saw a black person as the pilot, he would be questioning whether or not he felt safe on this plane getting from point A to point B. And then the clip stops.
Yeah.
And you go,
so it's because they're black.
And I'm telling you, like, when I first saw it, I was like, Charlie, I'm about to just change my. I'm like, I can't. I mean, I very much disagree with this.
Because he said,
I can't believe
if a black individual was piloting the plane, I would have to consider leaving.
Right.
Snippet cut.
I saw that and I just thought, oh my goodness. You know, I agreed with 100%.
So pay attention to this.
Yeah. So I agree 100% with Charlie Kirk. And then is at this moment where I go, and then instead of sitting there and being upset, I was like, dude, what podcast was that? Like, I need to watch, because his podcast could be, or, you know, when he talks to people at college campuses, they're 2 hours long, you know, and I'm like, I might as well buckle up because I found where it was. Now I got to watch this thing in its entirety for an hour and a half, and that's what I chose to do. And it turns out when he made this claim, it was because what he actually said was American Airlines, I believe is who it was. They made a statement and said, we do not have enough diversity of pilots. So what we're going to do is we're going to hire more, whether it's, Indian, black, whatever, people, so that we can fit that diversity role so people will be happier. The issue is that there could be a white person, just say, who has 20 years experience, and you look at the resume and you're about ready to get hired for American Airlines pilot.
Been a good pilot.
Good pilot. This dude's flown 500 times. You go, he said, okay, he knows what he's doing. And then there could be a black pilot who comes along and says, hey, I'm new. I haven't flown anything yet. Do you have my green? If you were going to choose who is taking you from point A to point B, more than likely than not, this person has more
black or white,
black or green, white. Blue, I don't care.
They're
going to say, hey, this dude's been flying for 20 years. This guy, he hasn't flown yet. He's going to be your pilot. You're going, man, I really would have preferred the guy that has 20 years experience. And that is what Charlie Kirk meant. So it was saying, I don't care if the person's orange, green, purple, black, brown, whatever color. I do not care. My point being is if I'm hopping on a plane and it's a 3-hour flight, I want the best of the best. You know, it's my life. I'm scared. I want to fly safely. And if they're just going to hire somebody just because of their skin color, I might question that a little bit and go, is he, you're
not their skill set.
Not their skill set.
Right. Be it okay,
which we were saying,
whether it's a doctor, somebody doing heart surgery.
I was going to say, so if it's a heart surgeon, right, and there's somebody, I work at LMH, there's somebody, his name's Dr. Rajub. He's like the best in the country.
Oh, he's insane.
If they told me, and I had heart issues, he's out, we got a new guy, he's 25,
he's
28 years old, he's done 2 of them.
I don't care if he's white.
I'd be like, I'm waiting for Dr. Rajub. I don't care how long he's out. It's that simple. Because I just know that he's going to be people. So if it was a pilot that was black and he had 30 years experience, and a white dude came in and said, well, I just graduated and I passed with flying car, I'm like, no, I want the black pilot from 20 or 30 years because he knows what he's doing.
Correct.
And that's what Charlie was saying. He had nothing to do with racism, but that snippet, 15 seconds, just ruined so many people's view on him. So you just have to be so careful with 15-second clips.
Even with what we say.
Please see the context.
Check it out.
Please check it out. See the context of it. It's
well, to put this into perspective so that we understand it on a very simple level, is that Major League Sports, we wouldn't watch if they didn't have when they have drafts. Because what we watch on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, whatever sports, we're watching the best. Case in point, in the 80s, there was a strike in the NFL, and they were called the Scabs. They were the guys that didn't make, there was a movie that was done after it. They were called the Scabs, and they were guys that crossed the line, guys that didn't make the NFL, and they tried for a number of weeks to try to run the NFL. It was horrible and nobody watched.
Didn't work.
And that's something as simple as Major League Sports. We want to see the best. How much more if someone's flying your plane? Just saying.
Big deal. Big deal.
Just saying.
I want the best.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. I don't care. Again, I don't care if they're white, black, green, purple, blue, whatever. I'm like, I hope they're the best. So please just hire the best person if they're flying the plane. And that's what Charlie meant. And it was completely taken out of context. So just be careful when you're seeing stuff like that and you see that 15-second snippet and you're ready to react immediately. Again, it goes back to that. And you go, I knew he was racist. And then you realize, after he passed away, you go, wow, Charlie had all these black friends and he was really good friends with this person and this person. And he listened to Kanye West a bunch. You're going, okay, well, he liked all these people,
Jump into conclusions.
Hold up. Let's not jump to conclusions here and just immediately say he's racist. What, in what context? And in closing, there were some really cool comments, quotes that he said that I wanted to tell you guys. I've shared these like 5 times on my Instagram, and I'm going to share them again.
Let's go.
Because I think they're really good. Actually, we'll do this. There's one that I really liked, and he said this. It takes no skill and no talent and no self-restraint whatsoever just to follow your flesh. An animal can do that. A dog can do that. Mature people say no to what feels good, and they pursue what is good, which is the Lord. And I love that. I think that is incredibly
See,
impactful.
there's a challenge.
Because you go,
see, there's that challenge.
So perhaps, can I not follow my flesh and
that kind of ticks me off?
It makes me mad because now I'm responsible
correct
of my own issues, and I don't like that because I kind of want to do whatever I want to do.
I just want to shoot up.
I just want to do whatever I want to do.
I want to
don't judge me.
I want to look at this. I want to steal that or whatever.
Right.
I
and
love
him
money.
saying,
it could be
you know,
anything.
an animal can do that, a dog can do that. You go, ooh,
wow.
Well, now I'm like, ouch, that hurts. Well, now I'm offended.
Yeah, now I don't like him.
You just call me
why?
like, because why?
Because it challenges
he
you.
Challenged me to go,
yeah.
Am I acting like that? And maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I knew I was, you know, and that's why I felt convicted. And I thought, yeah, I guess that's true. And then the last one in closing, it's my favorite one. Somebody asked him on his podcast, how can I get closer to God? I feel like I'm not getting closer to God. What do I need to do?
So good.
It's amazing with him is he just says the most normal things and you go, why didn't I think of it? Like, it's so basic. It's not that hard.
No,
we've made this way too
genius
difficult.
and it's not.
Oh, like that's really good. So he said this, stop doing sinful things. I always laugh. People say, I'm not close to God, but I was up till 3 a.m. drinking and, you know, I've been smoking weed all day long. I've been watching pornography, eating whatever I want to eat. And he said, the flesh dulls the spirit from getting closer to the Almighty. And I love it. I'm going to stop right there before I finish that. I love that so much. The flesh dulls the spirit from getting closer to the Almighty. And he says this is just good life advice, which he's always like, this is just good life advice.
And it is.
It is, because I need to write this down.
I like it.
If it makes you feel good in an instant, it's probably bad for you. And a man versus a boy is someone who is able to say no to the things that feel good but aren't good for you over a long period of time. A man versus a boy is someone who's able to have delayed gratification, not going out drinking every night, treating women with honor and respect. And he goes on and on about that. And we kind of talked about, amazing to say, delayed gratification.
Right.
Because it goes over so many things. And I was sitting there, and when I heard that the first time, I don't even know why, because I have a sugar problem. I just thought, man, like anytime I'm even kind of hungry, I'm like, what kind of candy bar, what kind of whatever.
I need it
my nickname's Wonka, and I'm like, I need it now. And I'm going, that's an instant gratification where I'm like, but do I need that?
But then after you do it too, you're like,
I eat the whole candy bar, got chocolate around. I'm going, oh shoot, I wish.
Did it again.
Why did I do that? There goes, 1,200 calories down the drain over a fast break king size candy bar.
You even know the calories.
I do. Yeah. So it's amazing that you can apply that, instant gratification. And that's something that in America, we just have that immediately, right? Social media, food.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you just go on alcohol, drugs, pornography, you name it. As long as it's instant gratification. And him saying, if it's instant, it's probably not good for you, because good things come with time and patience and peace. And I wanted to read that to you guys because I don't know, maybe if you're struggling a little bit, you say, why am I not getting closer to God? And he's saying, read the Bible every day, stop doing sinful things. It's very basic. You're like, oh,
sounds
okay.
Simple.
But again,
sounds easy.
When you go, hey, stop doing sinful
not.
Things, someone goes, what are you saying? I'm not doing it. And again, you're putting up your defensive wall because there's a challenge there, because you probably are, just like I was. So then when I see that, I go, oh my gosh, and you're going, what am I doing? Instant gratification with food or candy or whatever the case may be. And it's probably not good for you. And I think those quotes are just the tip of the iceberg of what kind of man he was.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he was a good husband. I'm sure he was a good friend. And
a good father.
A good father. And my
good
thoughts
friend.
and prayers go out to his wife and his
absolutely.
kids and people that are struggling as we close, 2025 on what the heck is going on with the world. I mean, it's just crazy, and we need God more than ever. So
can I close this one out?
So close this out.
I'm going to close this out. So, you were talking about the flesh, and this isn't my idea. I actually learned this from another individual, but it's interesting about our flesh is that we all know the story of Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. And we know the story that, Eve was deceived of the devil, right? Of the serpent. Mm-hmm. The Bible even says she was deceived.
Yeah.
Adam, however, was not deceived. Think about it this way. Eve came from where? his flesh.
Right. That's interesting.
And Eve went to him, didn't deceive him.
Mm-hmm.
He gave into his own flesh.
His own flesh, yeah. So
And
the tale
so
as old as time from the beginning.
So giving in, the Bible doesn't say Adam was deceived. It says Eve was deceived.
That's interesting.
Eve came from Adam. She went to him. So he was not deceived. He was, closing with this, he was influenced by his flesh. Don't be influenced by your flesh or other people. Thanks for watching Someone Fix This.
Thank you guys for watching.